YouTube, what's going on? Tanner here with NFL Broadcaster. Got some news for you guys from NFL Rumors on Twitter. Guys, the Bears have been looking to trade Anthony Miller, wide receiver. He's only 26 years old, very athletic wide receiver, very underrated in my opinion, deserves a better system than the Chicago Bears. The Bears are just an awful franchise, okay? Let's not sugarcoat the Chicago Bears franchise. Awful, absolutely awful. So anyways, Anthony Miller, potential trade target is, guess who? The Baltimore Ravens. And the Baltimore Ravens could definitely have a threat here at wide receiver 2 in Anthony Miller, and they've been looking to trade Orlando Brown Jr. This works out in several scenarios because I've already talked about the tag and trade of Allen Robinson to the Baltimore Ravens because they did sign him on the franchise tag, and Orlando Brown could come back to Chicago and play left tackle. This is something that was a possibility, and now it's even more of a possibility with trading Anthony Miller. It wouldn't be as big of a name as a guy like Allen Robinson, so Anthony Miller would go back and it would be more of an equal trade for a guy like Orlando Brown Jr. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think this is a possibility for the Chicago Bears to get back a guy like Orlando Brown Jr., who could be a heck of an offensive lineman for them, and Lamar Jackson could get a wide receiver too, and Anthony Miller? I say wide receiver 2. He has Hollywood Brown. He has now Sammy Watkins, and then he could have Anthony Miller. Now Willie Snead is gone, and Hollywood Brown hasn't really lived up to the expectations yet, but he could definitely still be that deep threat target for Lamar Jackson. And if you get better wide receivers around him, maybe this could step up his game. Sammy Watkins is obviously an upgrade already at wide receiver, I think, and I think that they're stepping in the right direction in Baltimore if they want that passing game to succeed. Trading for Anthony Miller would only help them. It would get rid of a dramatic offensive lineman who wants out of Baltimore already, has requested his trade several times and has tweeted and posted about his unhappiness in Baltimore and his situation in Baltimore. This could be a win-win for both teams. Baltimore Ravens could receive a nice wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in Anthony Miller, potentially even their wide receiver 1 if Sammy Watkins doesn't really produce wide receiver 1 numbers, or if Hollywood Brown doesn't produce wide receiver 1 numbers. Chicago Bears could receive back a star left tackle in Orlando Brown Jr. And I don't know if he's all pro, but I think his first season he made a Pro Bowl, didn't he? Don't quote me on that, but I know that Orlando Brown is very athletic, and he's good, and he was great in college. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I think that this could be a win-win scenario for both teams. Lamar Jackson could get more wide receiver help and just a nice threat in Anthony Miller, a very young in his prime wide receiver. Like I said, Anthony Miller is only 26 years old. That is young. Sammy Watkins is only 28 years old, or he'll be 28 this NFL season. And Hollywood Brown, I think he's like 25. So 24, 25. He's only been in the league since like 2018, I believe. So he could have a group of wide receivers if they do end up extending Sammy Watkins. If he has a good season there, they could have a trio of wide receivers for cheap deals and a young quarterback in Lamar Jackson for several years if they play their cards right. And if they do this trade, I think it would be a very good scenario for the Baltimore Ravens and their passing game. Right now, they're like a laughing stock when it comes to their passing game. Lamar Jackson, you know, all the running back jokes, but I know the guy has an arm. He's a cannon for an arm. He's athletic. He can pass a ball. He can throw an NFL football. He can pass it. He can sling it.